Hello, everyone. Stephanie Zima here, my way of life coaching. And today I want to talk to you and dive a little bit deeper into the mindset of what's the point and nothing I do matters anyway. Now, so many of you network marketers are at this point, right? You are started with your business and you're super excited. You start sharing, and then out of the sudden people are going to say, no, that's not for me, thank you, I don't want to do it. Or maybe you are just getting a little nodding of like, let's see where that goes. And you try all the things, but for some reason it's not working for you. You're reaching out and talking to people, but nobody wants to know about your stuff. Nobody wants to buy anything from you, and you are getting a little bit defeated, thinking to yourself, what's the point? Nothing I do matters anyway. I post and it's not going to come up. Nobody likes, nobody engages, nobody's asking me about it. Or you send out the messages and you try to have conversations, but then they ghost you, right? There's so many things that we are trying to do, and then out of the sudden, it just doesn't feel like we're getting anywhere. Now, when that happens, it's you start having this emotional state of what we call apathy. Okay, the emotional state of apathy is where you feel indifferent, like you post or you don't post, it really doesn't matter. You reach out or you don't reach out, it doesn't really matter. You have low energy, you just don't feel like doing it, and also it doesn't really matter. So that big dream that you've had originally, the big, like when you start in network marketing, it's usually because somebody, like it's something lit up in you. Like you're like, okay, I got this. I want to make this extra income. I want to do the, top of the company. I can reach this. Yeah, you have this hope. Okay. And then you start getting into action. You start realizing that it's not really doing anything for you. And then out of the sudden, you come crashing down. That is the roller coaster that so many people are talking about. That is where it goes up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And for some reason, many are falling off. And I want to talk to you about this today, because when you are in the stage of apathy, meaning you're feeling indifferent and you're avoiding the action, you're avoiding, and you're having procrastination issues, and all that kind of stuff that nobody really wants to talk about, but everyone has. That is where I really want to start moving you. Okay. I want to help you transform. I want you to get out of that stage into an action stage. And this is where I'm so passionate about, because they say that 80 to 90% of network marketers will never have success. And I refuse to believe that it's because the industry is wrong. I refuse to believe that people are just dumb and not able to do it. None of that is the case. What is the case, though, is the fact that people have this stage of apathy. They have this thought, what's the point? Nothing I do matters anyway. And they fail to be able to show themselves small little progress to move out. See, when you're in apathy, it's because you're burnt out. When you have repeated setbacks, so you send messages and nobody responds, or you just kind of lose that vision, right? You don't think that you're going to be able to do it. That is what happens when you get into that state of apathy. And it just really doesn't matter anymore. And then that's the stage where the state where everybody is going to quit, where everybody's going to say, you know what, I tried that, it's not for me. How many times have you heard that? I tried that and it's not for me. Now, that is because it's a state of apathy. Okay. That is where you lose hope. You think you can't do it, but you can. I want to tell you today, you can. It's just that you need to learn a few skills. You need to have someone that can give you vision, or you got to get the vision yourself. See, think about it this way. If you have a glass of water and you're holding it under the faucet and it drips, slow, small little drip, you put the water there and it drips, 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 right? And then you take the water cup away and you put it in the sun. And then you don't look at it anymore for a couple of days. Now then you look back at it and it's empty, right? nothing there. Then you put it under the drip again, and it goes drip, slower drip, drip, much slower drip, drip, drip maybe, right? And then you put it again on the windowsill with the sunlight on. And after a couple of days of not even doing anything with it, or maybe a week, now there's again nothing in there. See, this is what happens to your network marketing business. If you make a post here and there and you don't reach out on a regular basis, having conversations with people all the time so that it's drip, 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 nothing in that glass, nothing in your pipeline can actually flourish, okay? And it seems like there's no water coming, there's nothing coming. That is what it seems like, but it's really not the case. Water would come. What the problem is here is that you don't have habits yet that sustain you, that would prove that your reach outs, your engagement, your follow-up, that this will bring fruits and bear fruits over time or fill up that class. There is no proof to it, because every single time you fall off the wagon with your habits, you are basically putting your glass onto the windowsill, and the sunlight is going to dry everything up that you've been working for, right? Now, when you are in a state of apathy, you're already exhausted. Most people say, okay, let's hustle more, and you're going to push, 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 push more. But I tell you one thing, if you do that, you're going to try to push more, you're going to try to hustle more. All you do is you circle yourself back into the state of apathy, because apathy is coming from being burned out. Apathy is coming from having constant setbacks. You are not coming out of that cycle, and eventually you will quit. Okay. However, if you learn to not hustle more, but rather be more clear about what it is that exactly you need to do. Like, where are you having trouble? Where do you think it doesn't matter? Where do you think and fall off the wagon? See, when you are afraid of reaching out, for example, because you don't know what to say, or maybe your words are not right, or you don't know how to find people, that's where you start. Okay, that's where you need to get started on figuring out and digging deeper as to what needs to happen. Like, why am I afraid? What thoughts am I really thinking? Why am I not sure about myself? How can I, right? And each individual person is so different. And that is why your uplines, you are all in these network marketing companies, and everyone is coaching and everyone has training. But how come, if you all have all this great, super great training, how come all of you are going to quit and none of you have results? It's because your uplines, as lovely as they are, because they're your friends, those uplines are not able to work with you one-on-one. Those uplines are not trained to help you get through a state, an emotional state of apathy. They're able to tell you how to hustle more, but they're not able to help you move through these different stages of emotional maturity, right? Now, when you start realizing, why am I burnt out? There is so much involved with this. When they say, why are you burnt out? Maybe it's your physiological environment. Maybe your house is a mess. Maybe your job is draining you. Maybe your family is draining you. Maybe you're not getting enough sleep because you're working 3 jobs. Maybe you have kids that are having you up every 2 hours because they're infants. There's a lot of different things that are going into each and every one of yours situations that have to do with your physiological stage. So learning that, figuring that out, seeing, okay, do I drain my energy from here? Is that the reason why I have burnout? Is that the reason why I have setback? Or is it maybe your financial scarcity mindset? Maybe you're thinking you must have that. And so it puts your nervous system in complete freeze mode, right? If you need to have money, if you are feeling scarcity about things, you're probably stressing your nervous system, and your nervous system is putting on the brakes and saying, nah, we're not going through this procrastination. We're going to stay right here. We're going to hide. We're not going to look at it in the eye. See, in this case, sometimes it really helps when you look at your bank account every single day. Sometimes it really helps when you say, okay, well, where can I get extra funds in? How can I do that. And you help yourself in this with the scarcity by confronting yourself with what it is that you're scared about, because when you do that, you are actually able to desensitize yourself from that fear. And what helps, what does that do, what would that, oh my gosh, I can't even talk today. What that does, when you desensitize yourself, you actually help yourself mobilize and move. Okay. So small little steps like that are going to get you moving so that you can actually have action and move out of that stage of apathy. But see, if you don't know and work with these different physiological or safety or even love and belonging phases in your life, then you are going to be always in this apathy state. You are always going to say, you know what, I won't be able to do it. And then you are going to lose out. Now, why am I so passionate about helping people move through emotional states and helping the 80% of network marketers that are not successful, right? Or that are not. I am so passionate about it because out of my own experience, if I would have not fought through all of that I'm teaching right now, the heal, connect, and level up, if I would have not fought through this myself, I would have not been able to provide for my children right now and be there for them and have what the job and the business that I have right now. I would not have been here. Okay. If I was on the brink of quitting so many times, but can you just imagine how it would be? My husband committed suicide. I was by myself. I am by myself from one day to another. Can you imagine if I would have not done that? If I would have not worked through this? I want you and every single one of you out there have the ability to find not just your own peace, your own strength, your financial strength. I want you to be able to handle it. I want you to be able to handle life without feeling like everything is going to fall apart. And it starts by you actually getting to the root of what your emotional states are like. So this week I'm teaching a lot about this. Next week I'm going to be talking a little bit more in depth about the next stage, you know, the fear and the survival modes and stuff, because this is important. And if you are a business owner, if you are somebody that is interested in emotional resiliency and learning how to have confidence and learning how to move through life while building a business that is authentic to you, I strongly suggest that you hit the follow button and join me here and pay attention and ask me questions maybe, because this is what we are talking about. We are talking raw, we are talking real, we are talking deep emotional safety, because when your nervous system is stressed, you are going to be stressed and you are not going to be building anything. You're not building a family, you're not building a business, you're not building a home, you're not building anything. And that is where many people are stuck. Your anxiety is happening because you're not having a core. Your burnout is happening because you haven't figured out to meet your needs and how to meet your needs. All of that is so important so that you can show up and live that very best life that you are driving for, striving for, that you wanted. That is the reason why you're even in this. Okay. So stay tuned, hit the follow button, share this, and I'll see you all next time. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to answer. Bye.